That is also a good idea. Yeah. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, okay. You want the mic? Yeah, but it is being recorded, so they should, even online viewers shouldn't get the question.
So today we talked about consciousness, matter and Jivatma. What about, I want to understand where Bhagwan figures in this.
Bhagwan is also nothing but consciousness only in a bigger body, in a bigger subtle body.
Can you explain further?
See, just as consciousness, if Swamiji is coming, he can answer, otherwise, just as I said, sun getting reflected in a pool of water. Similarly, consciousness itself getting reflected in Maya. Maya is another, in place of subtle body.
Okay.
In the case of Jivatma, there is avidya. In the case of Ishvara, it will be Maya, in which he gets reflected. It is like, it is like a big garb. This is a smaller costume, that is a bigger one.
So ultimately it is
Consciousness alone. So that is what is conveyed by the Mahavakya, that you are. That you are. That means what? That is Ishvara. That is consciousness. You are that consciousness. You who take yourself to be small one, is not that, really. But that Ishvara part is also going to come in the text. It will be coming in the mantras. Teacher.
Namaste, Swamini. Thank you very much. You are really making so many points very clear, patiently. Still, I have 2 points I have problem understanding. Number one, you mentioned that the seer illuminates the scene. So the eye illuminates the object. According to the science, that light falls upon the object, is reflected, and reflected light enters our eye. So that's the way we can see it, right? Otherwise, if eye illuminates the object, I should be able to see the object in the dark, which I don't, okay? So this is not clear how it works there, okay? Secondly, when I look at the sun, am I illuminating sun or sun is illuminating me? Same
Consciousness
issue.
is illuminating the sun. I think Swamiji is going to take this.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this is question answer session? Okay. You start something? Okay.
Namaste, Swamiji. Yeah. Thank you for taking time to help us answer our questions. Today, Swamini explained that seer illuminates the scene, so the eye illuminates the object. And that's the way we see it. According to science, the sunlight or lamplight falls on the object, it is reflected. Reflected light enters our eye, and we can see it. Okay? If the eye illuminates the object, I should be able to see in the dark. So I cannot comprehend that thing. Maybe you can explain a little more over there. Okay? Second question is, the one prakriya...
Let us take care of this.
Okay.
You're right, eyes illumine the object, but you require also the supporting cause, namely the outer light. Eyes can perceive illumined objects. So if object is not illumined, eyes cannot perceive. So now what is meant by illumining the eye, illumining the object, is that even if the object is illumined by the sunlight or other light,
yeah.
you require to know that object. So what is called illumination is that every organ of perception illumines its respective object. For example, these words that I am uttering now are heard by you. So we say that your organ of hearing is illumining these words,
I see.
revealing the words.
Okay, consciousness. Okay.
So illumination doesn't mean in terms of normal light, but it means that it is organ of perception that illumines, that reveals the object.
I see. Now, second thing was that there one prakriya, the model used to explain how consciousness interacts with subtle body, whether it's a reflection like a water in the bucket, right? Now, if consciousness is omnipresent everywhere, there is no place where consciousness is not there. That how can consciousness stay away, not being entangled with the subtle body? Why is just reflected? Why is not really mixed with it light? Just like iron hot ball, that makes sense. The other I cannot understand.
Very good. For example, the space pervades everything, but still space does not touch anything. So we say that the consciousness pervades everything, at the same time consciousness transcends everything. Therefore, for consciousness to illumine something, some other medium is required. Like electricity, for example, is illumining all of us. But electricity directly cannot do that. It manifests as light through the bulb and then illumines. So what illumines us is electricity. This light is nothing but electricity in that energy, in that form. So electricity requires the agency of a tungsten filament, for example, to manifest as light. So light is of the same reality. The illuminator should be of the same reality as illumined. Electricity is of a different order of subtlety. Therefore, it cannot illuminate these gross objects directly. Electricity also should gain the same degree of grossness. Then only illumination can take place. Same degree of reality can illumine So also consciousness actually transcends everything. It pervades everything and transcends everything also. Therefore, like electricity, consciousness also should gain that level of reality where we are to illumine us. So consciousness requires the agency of the mind, let us say. So consciousness first gets reflected in mind, just as electricity first gets reflected in the tungsten filament, and the illumined tungsten filament illumines us, so also consciousness illumines the mind. The illumined mind then illumines the objects because of the same degree of reality as the objects are. So illuminator should be of the same degree of reality as the illumined. So consciousness first it gets reflected in the mind, the reflected consciousness illumines everything.
Hari Om Swamiji. So consciousness illumines the mind, right? Also, we also say consciousness is witness. So is this two unrelated, or like is this properties of consciousness?
Well, it is not that consciousness has to make an effort to illumine. Consciousness is. With reference to what gets illumined, just as the sun is. There is no effort on the part of sun to illumine anything, but because sun is the nature of light, illumination takes place in presence of sun. So also illumination takes place in presence of consciousness. Not that there is an effort involved in illumination. Consciousness is, in presence of that, the mind and whatever gets illuminated. And they in turn illumine their respective objects.
Okay, Swamiji. And it's also witness of everything going on.
Witness because it's uninvolved.
Uninvolved.
It is not that consciousness makes an effort just by being present. Just as in presence of magnet, the iron filings just get energized, so also in presence of consciousness, just in presence of this light, for example, things get illumined. So also in the presence of consciousness, the mind gets illumined, and then in turn illumines other things, sense organs and sense objects.
Okay, Swamiji. I have one more question, Swamiji. So we consider like I and you, right? Everything other than the soul is object. So my question is, like, we know like other people also have the soul in them. So do we consider them as, like, in that sense as objects? But we also know we all have the soul connected.
Well, you are the object for me and I am the object for you.
Okay, Swami. Okay.
Yeah, but well, I'm glad that you immediately agreed with me. But the thing is, when I say you are the object for me, what is this you? Not you, the consciousness, that is not the object for me. You, the body, is the object for me.
Great.
And I associate consciousness with the body, therefore I say you are the object for me. What is object for me is the body.
Body, yes.
And what is object for you is this body. And we equate the body and consciousness, therefore we say that, well, you are the, so you are my object of awareness, where you is only this gross body.
Okay, Swamiji. So do we have to respect the other individuals because, like, we are all the same, right? In terms of connection with soul.
We should respect everything. We should respect everything ideally, including even the inert things, inasmuch as everything has a place in the creation, everything has a role to play, and we respect everything for what it is. The human beings are, of course, the most evolved, and therefore they certainly deserve a much greater respect than I may have for this thing. But I can do this, the poor thing will not react. And therefore, we respect even inert things, but then respect we give to different things depends upon what that thing is. Respect I have for my father is of one nature, of my guru is another nature, of my son is a different nature, We respect everybody. But the manner of respect will depend upon who that entity is.
Okay, Swami. Thank you, Swamiji.
Swamiji, very basic. We use the word as if we have known it all along. Sentience. And yet, today I felt like I was listening to Swamini's lecture on Dragdrashya Viveka. To me, sentience is life. I'm sentient because I have life. I can talk and walk and think. Or even an animal, as a rock is not insentient. So, is that, or there is more to sentience?
Sentience is where the subtle body is. Body. Therefore, it is not sentient. So, sentient is the one who is able to feel and is able to express. The expression will depend upon the nature of the upadhi. And therefore, even a little worm or an insect also is sentient. But its feeling would depend upon its upadhi, the level of evolution of that upadhi. Human being is the most evolved, this upadhi, therefore the level of our feeling, etc. is much more evolved. But
So
if we, sorry.
Do we use the word sentient specifically in spiritual context?
In general context,
In general context?
yeah. Whatever it is that possesses subtle body is a sentient entity.
And
To distinguish from other things which are not sentient because they don't possess a subtle body.
I have a question on realities. We know three realities. Paramarthik Satyam, Paramarthik reality, the Vyavaharik reality, and at least I think I'm clear in my mind about what they are. It's the Pratibhasik reality, the subjective reality, that I would like you to elucidate, because here is what I think of Pratibhasik. Is the subjective is anything I am looking at, even in the Vyavaharik reality. Maybe Prabodh may look at the same thing, a situation or whatever, and we still see it very differently. Because I'm looking at it through my Pratibhasik reality, he is looking at it to his own reality. Is that a way of looking at Pratibhasik? I've heard the example of dream. For example, I have a dream, and that is very specific to my Pratibhasik reality. But overall, I don't think I have a good handle on it.
So Pratibhasik, as you say, subjective reality, only subject has the entry to that reality, nobody else has an entry to your dream. As far as the waking world is concerned, there also everybody does not see the world in the same way. Everybody has the glasses of
Right.
what we may say ragadveshas. Now raga, attachment, aversions are my own personal perception. You can say personal projection. I may like and one person, I may not dislike other person. No, this like and dislike is my personal thing. It's not universal. Now, when we say sugar is sweet, it is universal because it is sweet for everybody. When I say I like this person, that likeness of that person is only individual to me because everybody else may not like. So therefore, these likes and dislikes in general, raga, dveshas, attachment, aversions, they are all personal perceptions, personal projections. So now when we perceive a part, for example, you perceive a part also which is the objective reality which all of us perceive in the same way. But you may have an opinion about this part. It's a good-looking part, ugly part, likable part. Now that is something that is personal or individual projection. Therefore in our perception both are involved. We perceive this objective world, Vyavaharik Satta, plus we habitually also superimpose our own likes and dislikes upon everything that we perceive. Meaning that we do not perceive things as they are, we perceive them through only our classes of likes and dislikes. So first thing is to perceive things as they are. Meaning that become free from raga dveshas to perceive the world, the Ishvara Srishti. So Ishvara Srishti and Jiva Srishti. And so this part is Ishvara Srishti. What is beautiful? Jiva Srishti. Beautiful aspect is something that is my personal creation, my projection. So my projection part is Jiva Srishti. So when I look upon this as a beautiful part is Ishvara Srishti, because everybody perceives the part as part. That is a beautiful part is my personal opinion or projection, and you may have a different opinion or projection. So that is what we call Jiva Srishti. Jiva Srishti is personal projection, call it subjective reality. Ishvara Srishti and Jiva Srishti. So waking is Ishvara Srishti. Dream is Jiva Srishti. But in waking also, as we say, we perceive people as they are. At the same time, I look upon somebody as my brother, as my mother, as my cousin, as my friend, etc., etc. So that is my personal projection upon that individual. That is subjective reality.
So even in waking state, then I'm very much in my subjective reality.
Very much.
Okay.
So that's combination of objective and subjective.
Yes.
Yes. So we are not objective even in waking state.
Thank you, Swami.
Therefore, Puja Swami said we should become objective. Meaning that we should ideally, essentially get rid of our mind of these raga dveshas, then become objective. Any more questions?
Swami, general question, Swamiji. How to overcome fear, like in Vedantic perspective, fear of situations, people, or anything else, and also how to reduce the ego-ness, like mine. Any tips, Swamiji?
So let us talk about fear. The famous words of Bhartruhari. Bhoge roga bhayam, kule chuti bhayam, vitte nirupalad bhayam. He gives various examples of how sarvam vastu bhayanvitam bhuvi nudam vairagyame. He says everything is mixed with fear. Everything involves fear. Bhoge roga, I'm indulging into pleasure. In my mind, I know that this is going to result in roga. Kule chuti bhayam. If attachment brings about fear, a thing does not bring about fear. Merely enjoying something doesn't bring about fear. When that's done with attachment, like kule chuti bhayam, when I am proud or when I am attached to my kulam, my lineage, always a fear that maybe I might do something which does not behoove of my lineage. Vitte nirupalad bhayam, when we are attached to our wealth, and there is all the fear that this king will take away. So fear is the result of attachment. And of course, everybody has attachments. But then, to become free from fear, we should recognize, why am I afraid? your fear of future. Sometimes people feel that the world is not a safe place, etc., etc. So where is the attachment involved? Attachment to my security, attachment to my well-being, attachment to my life, attachment to my longevity. So there is fear of death because I am attached to my longevity or my life. I'm not saying you should not be, but all I'm saying is that every fear will be ultimately, will lead us to recognize some attachment somewhere. Sarvam vastu bhayanvitam. Bharadwaj says that everything is endowed with fear. Vairagyameva, only vairagya is devoid of fear. Vairagya means fear from attachment and aversion. So where attachment and aversion, both of them create fear. Attachment creates fear by the possibility of losing something. Aversion creates the fear by the possibility of association. And since we function with our attachment and aversion, therefore generally there is fear. So fear is not because of what the world is or what something else is. Although there are reasons for fear like snake, so there are genuine causes of fear. I don't mean that you should not be afraid of anything. Yes, a snake you should have. And that it can, hurt you. And so, but there is fear everywhere. I don't know, can I trust this person? Can I do that? So that way, but the fear can be traced to some attachment, for sure. And we have attachment. What is meant by attachment is that I depend upon something for my sense of well-being. I need something to be there for me to feel comfortable or good. In presence of which I feel comfortable, I feel happy, I feel good. In absence of which I feel uncomfortable, unhappy, not well. And so generally this is our relationship is like this. Almost with everybody. I feel comfortable or uncomfortable. There may be chemistry, Chemistry of 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas here. My personality, other personality also is sattva, rajas, tamas. So that chemistry is there, and therefore there is attraction or there is repulsion, etc. So this is something habitual, something natural. And but we have to address it when that becomes a problem. When it comes in the way of our vyavahara, comes in the way of well-being, we have to address.
Okay, so much. So it's the same way we have to deal with ego also, like mind, like identification.
Ego means sense of individuality, which we all have. So we have an identity that I am so and so. That is called ego. That is the sense in which the word ego is used in Vedanta. The word ego that is used in the common parlance is in terms of pride. Pride or haughtiness or arrogance. Usually ego is equated to that. So understand, the word ego in Vedanta means sense of individuality, which everybody has. In our day-to-day interaction, ego means generally pride. So when you say ego, if you mean pride, it's a different thing. By ego you mean individuality, it's a different thing. Then everybody has individuality. There is an identity. That I am a Swami, I am so and so, you are. Everybody has an identity, and you can call that ego a sense of identity, which you require for existence, for your functioning. So there is nothing wrong with ego or identity as such, except that when that identity becomes any cause for division or whatever, that I identify myself as, Hindu, and then I have a problem with something else, and as Indian, then, nothing wrong in identifying also as long as that does not become a dividing factor. There is no rule that identification necessarily means division. But when strong identification is something which is opposed to something else, then the division occurs. So, you keep on using the word ego, but understand what ego means. Ego simply means sense of individuality. That you are so and so. And we require that. In fact, our culture, it is necessary to have ego. And up to a certain point, necessary for ego gratification also to feel good about myself. Ego is not always bad. I need to feel good about myself, a self-worth, when there is a certain gratification of ego. That yes, I did such and such thing, I had this education, I had this salary, I had this. The ego gives me a sense of self-worth, which is necessary for me to function in the society. Now, when that goes outside the boundary, then I start asserting myself, then that ego becomes a cause of, that becomes a problem. So ego word that you are using, I hear this is from you and from others also. By itself, ego is not bad. Ego means a sense of individuality and sense of self-worth, self-respect. As long as ego is confined to that point, is all right. So we in fact give individuality. Our culture, like Vedic culture, declares, from now you are a brahmachari, give the whole samskara is done upanayana. Now this fellow was running around moving, no individual, no rules, no regulations, no discipline. He is given individuality. You are a brahmachari. Means now the set of rules apply to you. You can't just eat anything, you can't just do anything. Then a little further, you are now a man and wife, whatever. Further. So this sense of individuality is imparted. Identity is imparted to give a sense of responsibility to the person. With every identity is associated a sense of responsibility, sense of duty. And that way, ego is what we impart to create in that person a sense of identity and responsibility.
Thank you.
Namaste Swamiji. I have a question. So I'm hearing this knowledge now that I am Atman and this is the body. But when I leave here, I'll forget it in 2 days. So how do I remember this while I'm functioning in the world, and what should be my practice to remember this?
From these talks that you hear, note down a few important points that you think that you should remember. So while you're attending the class, this I think is worth remembering, this I should remember, this is important to me. Jot them down. Every morning, revise them. Hopefully you'll remember during the day, but this is how we have to keep reminding ourselves, because naturally you're right. There are so many other demands on my mind that this thing doesn't make any demand and is likely to be, it will be swept away in the current of my activities. And therefore to imprint, you will have to perhaps remind yourself every day about important things. In these classes, what are the very take away? Take home things. Jot down 5 things. And remind yourself.
Thank you.
Thank God we have this couple of people here.
Just keep it here.
So, Swamiji, can we like purpose of life, right? So can this journey to like self-realization be the purpose of life for a person, or do they have to juggle the like career and also in this path? Like parallelly they can do it, or can someone keep this as the goal and work on it?
Well, the ideal thing is to make your life a process of achieving your goal, make it a process such that it leads you to the goal. Therefore, Lord Krishna teaches. Make your life like actions, the karma that you perform, do them with a certain attitude so that it becomes karma yoga. Make your life of yoga. Yoga means a conscious or alert being who is aware of what the values and attitudes are, and who is not swept away by these likes and dislikes. So an alert person, that means that in every situation when you are about to do something, that is when take a moment. Don't rush into doing something, take a moment. Stop, look, go, so what are my values, what are the attitudes, what is it that I want? And accordingly proceed. Then you will live a conscious life. What is important is we can make mistakes, that is all right, then we can just correct them. But living consciously, not habitually or mechanically.
Okay, so much.
Namaste. During the lecture today, I had a thought about what a sentient being actually is. And I'm pretty sure most of us have been hearing in the news lately about artificial intelligence is growing. And I was hoping you could clear something up. And I was just thinking, let's say, with the advances in AI, let's say they were able to make some, let's say, robot or whatever that was able to, feel things, able to have emotions, able to keep memories. What would make that not a sentient being, and how does that differ, I guess?
But do you think that a robot can be made such as to feel something?
Assuming it can happen, let's say, in the near future.
Well, I do not know that even artificial intelligence can make you feel.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence is so quick that it can, it can work out things so fast.
Mm-hmm.
It may give you the sense of feeling, etc., but I do not think feeling is a different faculty. It's all that they love intellect.
Mm-hmm.
All intelligence, when you say, is a function of intellect.
Okay.
And artificial intelligence, of course, is a combined intelligence, Many people, many human beings contributed to creating something, but it's still within the limits of human intelligence. The human intelligence, not a human intelligence, but the human intelligence, whatever it is. But I do not know that it can feel. It can calculate things so fast and can give you some solution that may create in you the illusion that it is feeling. But I doubt if artificial intelligence can feel.
Okay. So what makes something sentient? If, at least from
Life.
what I'm understanding, is any, let's say, being or object that can take in sensory data, process it, and then have some reaction to it. Or,
As I say, in what way do we differ from an object like this?
yeah. Yes.
That, as I said, I possess a subtle body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that will make some. Let us see what this, what we call this personality is. That what we perceive and feel with a sense perception is called gross body or stula shariram. But Vedanta teaches that this gross body right now, talking and walking and functioning, is because of something else inside that is called subtle body. It is subtle body, it is called subtle because it cannot be perceived through senses, that's called subtle. And that's what makes this body live. As Vedanta would explain, what is death is departure of subtle body from this gross body. Then this body may look the same, at least for some time, for a minute or two, and still it is lifeless. So what we call life is subtle body which departs from here. As long as that is here, this body is alive, and when it is not there, it becomes lifeless. So something that makes a difference.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
So I don't think artificial intelligence will have this subtle body that it can feel. But
Okay.
I do not think, from what as much as I understand. They may surprise me, I don't know. Yes.
I got a simple question here. Could you please elaborate on punya karma karte papakshaya?
Well, punya karma are of two kinds. You can perform a punya karma means what is it? Virtuous action. If that virtuous action of punya karma is performed keeping in mind a desire, then the punya that you get from that karma will be used up in fulfilling that desire. You perform punya karma without a desire, then that will neutralize the papa, existing papa. Therefore Lord Krishna says, perform selfless good actions.
Thank you.
If I become a consciousness, which is a witness consciousness,
Not become, you are.
I am right here. That means, let's say I have a diabetes and I want to eat something which is not good for me, sugar. So I say, well, I'm a witness. Let the mind, body do whatever it wants to do. So then who is the responsible for all this kind of thing, whatever is happening? I just become the total, just inert, right?
No. The one who says, I am the consciousness, one who says, I want to eat this, that is the one who is responsible. That's called the ego. And that one has to live with the consequences.
So even though you're a witness, you still have to take
You are
some
not witness. When you say, I am going to eat this, you are not a witness, you are a bhokta. Bhokta means experience and enjoyer. You are just witness is no kartrutvam, no bhoktrutvam. When you are not a doer, you are not an experiencer, not an enjoyer, then you are a witness. But let me enjoy this, rasagulla, etc., etc. You are not a witness, you are a bhokta.
I say,
Bhokta will have to put up with the consequences. Karta also, karta. Bhokta means karta also, because then you perform an action.
now what is they say that you have to become gnata and drashta instead of getting involved in the things over there.
Now that is the practice they ask you to do. In order to practice a certain alertness and aloofness, But it is not possible to perform vyavahara with that kind of a thing. As a practice, you can do so that you can create a certain distance. Not get too involved, not get too attached, and to be able to create a distance. They ask us to perform and do that.
So main objective is to create detachment and still be involved in the activities, do whatever you want to do, but that I am the Atman and this is not me. That's the feeling, that's the thinking you should have all the time.
No. I am an individual.
Yeah.
I am Arvind Bhai Shah, whoever I am,
Right.
That is okay. Nothing wrong with that. As long as I follow the right values and attitudes in what I do. In Vyavahara, there is a rule witness. No witness business is possible. You cannot do anything with being a witness. You are a karta. Right now when you are speaking, I'm a speaker. meaning agent of act of speaking. So these people say that I am a karta. No, you can't do anything with a karta. You are a karta, meaning you are the agent of action when you are doing vyavahara. That is where you follow values. Because if you are karta, then how will action take place? Ego is performing action, ego is karta, bhokta, seer, hearer, thinker. So, you purify yourself to such an extent that even when you are ego, you are still detached. That is called self-purification.
Then how about bringing this thinking that I am the instrument of God and God is doing all the activity through me, acting through my mind and body?
That's very good.
That should help in
yes, it will. Nimitta matram, yeah. That is true. That Ishvara is functioning through me. By His grace I am able to talk, walk, do whatever I do. And He is functioning through me. That's very good. That is true also.
Even though there is no God like a person, right? God is just like a concept. It's a collective consciousness. What is God or Ishwar?
Yeah. You call it consciousness, Brahman, Ishvara, God, but Ishvara. So now, as consciousness, Ishvara is just a witness and enlivening everything. When Ishvara then functions through his power called Maya, so when Brahman functions through Maya, it's called Ishvara, then it's omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. And that is the one whom we pray. That's the one who functions through us, etc. That consciousness, it transcends everything. Ishvara pervades everything.
Now we hear that there are 2 trillion galaxies in this universe. Consciousness is everywhere, or just wherever our thinking goes.
Now let us understand what consciousness is, by the way. Generally, what we think of consciousness is that it is that sentiency or the function of mind. Consciousness is even a subtle principle. Maybe Swamiji may already explain or will that this part has 5 aspects. The part is called asti in Sanskrit. Part shines in my consciousness, bhati. Part is dear to me, or part loves itself, priyam. Part has a name, part has a form corresponding to name. So this object called part has 5 aspects. Asti, bhati, priyam, nama, rupa. And take any other object. This also is asti, it is. Bhati shines in the consciousness. Priyam is also lovable. It has a name and a form. So, everything in the universe has these 5 aspects, of which asti, bhati, priyam is something that is universal, universally present in every name and form. Is name and form that distinguishes one entity from the other. So they are distinct as far as name and form is concerned. They are one as far as asti, bhati, priyam is concerned. So that is called consciousness. Asti, bhati, priyam is called consciousness. Because bhati means shines. So consciousness shines. Consciousness is complete, it is whole, therefore it is priyam. So call it Satchidananda, Asti Bhati Priyam, Satyam Jnanam Anandam. It is Brahman, and that is universal reality, substratum of everything. Takes different costumes, and therefore this individual, that individual, Brahman in that costume, Brahman in this costume, Brahman in that costume. Costumes vary. Like clay puts on it takes different costumes, got pots and pan and this and that. So also one consciousness, one Brahman assumes variety of costumes, it's called with different names and forms.
And Swamiji, when you add to Asti Bhati Priyam Nama and Rupam, that's the samsara.
Nama Rupa is samsara. Asti Bhati Priyam is Brahman. Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam Jagad Rupam Tato Dvayam. So the verse in Drudrishya Viveka that's the one that it will come, but that's the text that Swami is taking. Asti Bhati Priyam Rupam Nama Chaityam Shapanchakam Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam Jagad Rupam Tato Dvayam. Asti Bhati Priya Rupa and Nama. When there's 5 amsa or 5 aspects, first 3 are Brahman, other 2 are samsara, Jagat creation. So the whole text you are applying to? Wow, okay, good. All right, I think you have a question?
One
All right.
last question.
Last question.
Yes. So, if a self-realized individual dies, will he or she won't get any costume, Swamiji? Like,
There's no rebirth.
No rebirth.
Yeah.
Okay. And what happens? Is there any, like...
Becomes one with Brahman.
One with Brahma. Okay. So they become consciousness, Brahman.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
સ્વામી નરસિંહ મહેતાએ કહ્યું છે વૃક્ષમાં બીજ હતું બીજમાં વૃક્ષ હતું જવું પટાંતરો એ જાશે. What's the meaning of that?
Narasimha Mehta says to Ishvara that you are the seed in the tree and you are the tree in the seed. You are the bijama. In seed, you are the tree. In the seed, you are the tree. In the tree, you are the seed. Means you are everything, basically. You are the cause of everything as well as the effect. Seed means cause and tree means effect. You are the cause and you are the effect. And therefore what it is you.
But does it mean that from Brahman I came and I'll go back to Brahman? From
It's not
God,
coming
man
and
came
going.
from man become
Coming and
God?
going is not a physical phenomenon. You're not come and gone. You are Brahman even now.
Oh, okay. You are Brahman. Yes, sir.
I can't sing. How is it, bhajan? No, I don't need anyone. Yes, right.
No. Hare Anandamaya Jaya Narayana. Hare Anandamaya Jaya Narayana. Hare Vasudeva Nandana Radha Jivana Vasudeva Nandana Radha Jivana Vasudeva Nandana Radha Jivana Even Paramananda Madhava Madhava Paramananda Madhava Madhava Paramananda Madhava Madhava Paramananda Madhava Madhava Hari Anandamaya Jaya Narayana Hari Anandamaya Jaya Narayana Vasudeva Nandana Radha Jivanam Radha Jivan Paramananda Madhava Madhava Paramananda Madhava Madhava Hari Anandamaya Jaya Narayana Hari Anandamaya Jaya Narayana Hari Anandamaya Jaya Narayana Hari Narayana everybody repeat Vasudeva Nandana Radha Jivana Radha Jivan Paramananda Madhava Paramananda Madhava Paramananda Madhava Madhava Hari Anandamaya Jaya Narayana Hari Narayana 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 Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana 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 Hari Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Anandamaya Jaya Narayana Hari Anandamaya Jaya Narayana Vasudeva Nandana Radha Jivana Vasudeva Nandana Radha Jivana Paramananda Madhava Paramananda Paramananda Madhava Paramananda Madhava Hari Anandamaya Jaya Narayana Hari Anandamaya Jaya Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana 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 Hari Narayana 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 Hari Narayana नारायण हरि नारायण 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 हरि नारायण हरि आनंदमय जय नारायण। ॐ पूर्णमतः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।